The question is that the motion be agreed to, though. Oh, I'm sorry, the member seeking call.
Yes, please.
Dr. David Clark.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Speaker, I'm keen to speak to this bill because it goes back to the brilliant work done by Leanne Dalziel when she was Minister of Commerce. She is, of course, now in another office and finds herself down in Christchurch sorting out some of the mess down there. The unfortunate thing, I guess, about this bill is that we find ourselves in a position where it is 2 years, 4 months and 18 days, I'm told, after this bill was reported back, that it is receiving its second reading. Now, I'm not clear on the number of hours and minutes my colleagues are asking about, but that minister has 5 bills on the order that were introduced before 2012. And here we are, again, doing something that we will support because we think it is good progress, but it is very slow progress. And it's a sign, I think, of a government that is distracted. They are busy worrying about scandals in the police. They're worried about the chorus copper pricing. They're worried about Sky City deals, getting the GCSB and TICS legislation through. They may well be worried about Simon Bridges and his media appearances, but that's probably beyond the scope of this bill. But only slightly beyond the scope of this bill. My colleague suggests he might nearly be insolvent. But you know, this bill is to restrict or prohibit certain individuals from providing corporate insolvency services. And we would support the appropriate measures in that area. These are common sense steps, and obviously this legislation has a long history in coming to this point. The new system will apply to liquidators, administrators and receivers, and will target those practitioners who lack the requisite skills and knowledge to undertake insolvency work competently, or in fact who perform badly in this field of work. And it's very hard to disagree with that proposition. Why would you want these people operating in this area? Supporting the new system, there'll be tighter statutory disqualification criteria and wider court powers to replace a practitioner who has a conflict of interest and lacks independence in a particular insolvency case. The reforms will enhance transparency and accountability, and those are values that we on this side of the House take very seriously. We do question whether these values could not be applied perhaps a little bit more consistently by the other side of the House. And I'm reminded of the recent debate on the Sky City legislation where transparency was very much a secondary consideration in that tender process, and we've seen a very poor outcome for taxpayers. And I'm sure that we will see more than 1 or 2 insolvencies that result from that legislation, which takes out the burden of the Sky City casino rebuild. The burden of that, is paid for off the back of problem gambling. And that is something we, many of us on this side of the House, in fact I think all, it was a conscience vote, but as far as I'm aware, people on this side of the House opposed it universally, because we believe that decisions made in that way, that decisions around funding new initiatives, convention centres, be what they will, should be done in a transparent way. They shouldn't be deals done behind closed doors, and they should be done transparently and with accountability. So we do praise the government for doing reforms that are aligned with transparency and accountability in this respect, and they should be praised when they get things right. Goodness knows, on this side of the House, there are rich pickings for a government that wants to do deals with the likes of Chorus, Sky City and other big interests. We on this side of the House prefer transparency and accountability, and we will continue to fight for that. The member opposite suggests deals with the unions. Now, that's really getting off track and has nothing to do with this bill in particular, and I'm sure the member is coming from somewhere, but just where that is a mystery to those of us over here. His own special place. The investigators and enforcement of the new Register of Insolvency Practitioners will be managed by the Registrar of Companies. Again, a sensible step. The Registrar of Companies will also be able to take action against an insolvency practitioner who has not behaved appropriately. And again, there's little to disagree with in that. The bill originally introduced proposed a negative licensing regime for insolvency practitioners, liquidators, receivers and voluntary administrators, and insolvency practitioners who did not meet the required standard of competence would have been banned or placed under supervision. It would have empowered the Registrar of Companies to maintain a publicly accessible electronic register of people who have been banned or placed under supervision. The Select Committee report found that it would be preferable to prevent practitioners who would be restricted or prohibited from providing corporate insolvency services before undertaking insolvency duties instead of waiting until the damage is done. And effectively then the bill was completely rewritten in Select Committee. And the bill that we have before us does seem to achieve those basic aims. I return to the point, though, that it is a long time since it was introduced. It doesn't seem to be a priority for this government to address these measures, which are about accountability and transparency. And indeed, we would strongly favour decisions that were taken in line with accountability and transparency a little more often on this side of the House. So with that, those concluding comments, Mr Speaker, I wish to say that Labour will support this bill through the second reading, and wish you a very good weekend, Mr Speaker, when you get there.
Thank you. The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it.
Insolvency Practitioners Bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for consideration in committee next sitting day, and as the item number 4, Government Order of the Day number 4, is for the House to go into committee, and we've passed the time of reporting. It only behoves me to declare that the House will stand adjourned until 2 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th of November in the year 2013. May you all have a good weekend.